My first guitar teacher was not good. I don't want to trash him, but basically what happened is that I did not understand the information. Maybe it's my fault, but I do believe that if you explain things right from the get-go, you can progress way faster. So I feel like I lost a lot of time, and I want to save this time for you. What we're doing right now is looking at music and guitar the way I wish I was explained that. Some of the information might be familiar, but make sure you know it truly and deeply, because this is the way to progress faster. We have this beautiful, beautiful instrument called guitar, and look, it has some dots here. You see these dots? So we need to first understand how it functions, how music functions on a very, very basic level. So when the string vibrates, it actually produces quite a few of overtones. So basically these are the same notes and different notes that are being repeated again and again. The different frequencies, the different series of the overtones will tell us if the instrument is piano, guitar, bassoon, cello, etc. Now, when you take this string, which is E, and chop it exactly in the middle, half, this is half of the string, we get the octave. The same way when you chop it to different relationships. If we chop it in thirds, we get this. We chop it into a quarter, we get this. So what you want to see and understand first is just the mechanics of it. This understanding is already helpful because we can play this chord or this chord and move it here an octave higher, and it's beautiful. Wow, see. The next step is seeing how the guitar is tuned. So we have this E, and then we have a fourth up A, another fourth up D, another fourth up G, and then we have a major third B, and then an E. Now, what is a fourth, right? Because I remember saying, what is that? What does that even mean? So a fourth is basically 1, 2, 3, 4, literally 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I'm taking the key of C major, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth note, C, D, E, F. So that relation of whole step, and a half step, so basically 2.5 steps is a fourth, and that sound is what we have. And then we have a major third here, and then a fourth. Now it's very simple and basic in a way, but the understanding of that actually goes a very long way. What is the best piece of advice that any teacher gave you about guitar and music? Please drop a comment. I want to learn some stuff. Thanks. Sounds very simple, but actually that understanding goes a long way, because we can even see this note and this note, these are two of the same note. This is E and this is E. So if you play a melody here, you can play it here. The same thing in 2 octaves different. Now, again, a very, very simple thing, but I remember clearly trying to memorize the names of these strings and kind of trying to come up with random systems, and actually understanding, just knowing what is the relationship, what does it mean between this sound and this sound. Okay, got it. Once I actually understand the relationship between them, it all makes sense. When we talk about music, it's all about tension and release. We have a center, for example C, and we have notes that sound very in the pocket, very much a part of that frequency, and we have notes that are less. That friction, that tension and release can be very beautiful, and that is what happens when we have harmony. That is exactly that. This is the idea of tension and release. That functions in every style of music. It could be simple or that sound, even just understanding that this is 1, this is C, and this is G, the 5, this is the point of tension. Those simple ideas will go extremely far, because if you understand on a truthful way, emotionally, intellectually, and physically understanding how things lay on the guitar, you can progress way faster. And that was something that I was not good at when I started playing guitar. It took me a minute to get that. The next step is looking at this note, C, and looking at the C major scale, but not just position, not just fingering, because I remember clearly just trying to play this position again and again, hoping that I'll understand and be able to play guitar well. And it's not true, but it's not the whole truth. The truth is that if I would sing this note, and keep asking myself, keep challenging myself and saying like, how does this note feel? How does this note feel? Is it more tension? Where is the tension? Oh, here there's more tension, and this is a release. and tagging these colors slowly but surely, I would have saved a lot of time. And again, I want to save this time for you, and the idea of understanding fundamental ideas with guitar is exactly that. It's taking the simple building blocks of music, C major scale, one note at a time, and really tagging it, really truthfully understanding. And if this is really easy, it's fine, you can do it here. You can do it on a one string. It's the same idea. All these things are the same notes and the same tension and release. The fingerings are just suggested, right? I can play C major in a million ways. I can play 2 notes per string, or 4 notes, or whatever, 5 notes. It doesn't really matter. What matters for us is understanding the relationship, hearing it and feeling it. And if it's not easy at this moment, it's totally fine. What you want to do is take your time and slowly but surely tackle that. Because if you want to get good at guitar, this is the ABC of music and guitar. So again, looking at C major scale, I'm not against fingerings, but I want to save you this time by truly understanding. Now for me, I did not see the notes. When I was able to play 1 or 2 positions, they were not connected at all, and I could not understand how the notes work. So for that, I have a really simple solution for you guys, which is taking a note and playing it in a few places. So literally finding the note as a note. Check this out. So again, if I look at C, I'm trying to find all the C's on the guitar. Now, if you do it for the first time, it might not be easy, because you need to understand and think, oh, this is B, this is open string. Between B and C, we have a half step. So we actually need to understand C major as a color sound, and intellectually seeing how it works, right? So we say between C and D we have a whole step, between D and E we have a whole step, and then a half step, between E and F, whole, half. So again, even just that, saying between C and B, we have a half step, between F and E, or E and F, we have a half step. So there's 2 points in the scale that we have these half steps. And listening to this and thinking about it as a color, as a sound color, right? Once we do that, everything will get way easier. The same way, I'm going to find all the C's, so I need to think about it. Oh, this is B, so this would be C, because it's a half step above. Again, not memorizing, but literally thinking. This is A, so between A and B I have a whole step and then a half step. So this is C, and you probably know it because you already played this shape a million times, but it's important to look at these things and say, oh, what is this note? This is D, so this is E. Okay, so when I'm playing the open G, it's because I'm just doubling C, E, G, C, E. So there are only 3 notes that are being played here, but there are doubles. All these little things add up to a tremendous amount of information that at a certain point will kind of flow like a river. Yes. Alright, let's find these C's. So this is C, this is C. Now I can look at this E string. Now again, I don't want to memorize. I remember memorizing, trying to memorize the bar chords, like kind of guessing and then memorizing. No, this is E, so this is F because it's a half step, then it's a whole step, this is A, whole step to B, and this is C. And again, of course, at the end of the day, you'll know this is C automatically because you played it enough times, but I don't want it to be sort of like just like random memorization by heart because you just, this is it, this is it. No, why is it C? Once I understand, and I feel like a lot of people, once they understand it, it's really easy to memorize things. The same way if we feel it, right? We feel this is the color, it's easier to feel that sound, the major third, than kind of again, this is the third, this is how it, this is the fingering for this. No. I want us to know and feel the information on that deep level so we can tag it. And tagging it might take a little more time in the first couple of weeks, even 2 months, but then later on it will get so much faster. So you'll save actually again a lot of time. So we're still technically, we have this C, we have this C, I'll go to this C here as well, this C here, and then again this C here, this C here, C, 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 C. Maybe a little faster would sound like this. A little off tune. But basically, again, I'm trying to look at the guitar as a collection of colors and notes and sounds versus just shapes. Again, nothing against shapes. I'm very much a big fan of understanding and seeing the shapes, but if we don't understand it, if we don't tag all the other ways, it's kind of pointless. So make sure you're doing this, your due diligence, and really checking it out and understanding when you're practicing, because that way your practice will be so much more optimized. Next step is taking these chords, C major, D minor, E minor, F, G, A minor, B diminished, and back to C. Seeing the triads, seeing these shapes and understanding how they function against a center, and seeing that it actually is being repeated again and again. So check this out. We have the C, and I want to see, literally see it and hear it, that this chord, C major, is the 1 chord, and D minor is the 2, and it's a minor chord. So we have major and then we have minor. The different sound color, we know that, but actually feeling the 2. Okay. And then the 3. Mi, re, do, mi. Such a beautiful sound. This E minor. It's a beautiful color, but I want to tag it. I want to know this feeling of the 3 to the 1, the same way that I want to know the 2 to the 1. So looking at the chords, C, 1, major, D minor, 2, how it feels. Re, do, mi, the 3, re, do, F, the 4, also major, cool, G major, oh, okay, the 5 is also major. So we have 3 major chords in the key of C, 1, 4, and 5. These are all the major chords that we have in a major tonality. Very simple fact, but super effective, because it means that when we hear a major chord in a diatonic framework, we know it's either the 1 or the 4 or the 5. And that is huge, because when we listen to songs, these 3 chords, 1, 4, 5, this is also a song, right? Keep repeating. So if you can see it, hear it, and feel it, then we're learning music so much faster. And for me, I was just, I guess, slow, but it took me a while to understand. It's like, oh wow, okay, this is 4 and this is 5, and if I change a tonality, if I change a key, basically change a center of gravity, that we call tonic, it's the same. It's actually the same freaking thing. The colors stay the same, these feelings stay the same. It's slightly different because it's in a different place, slightly different because it's different chords, right? But I can play that sound 1, 4, 5, 1 in different key. For example, B flat. So 1, 4, 5, 4. That sound is the sound of 1, 4, 5, 4 to 1. And that sound is going to be the same. Now that again was a huge shocker for me, and I didn't understand it. I remember learning songs on guitar and trying to memorize these long sequence of chords and being very frustrated because I just didn't get it. I was like, wow, this is a lot of chords, how can I remember it? While if I only thought about the function and how it sounds, oh, this is 1, okay, cool, and this is going to this chord, which is a major chord. It's the 4 because I don't have a lot of options, only the 4 and 5, back to the 1, and then the 6, ooh, that's a nice sound. So, 1, 4, 6, cool sound. And then I remember being kind of shocked that people were adding all these, how did they do that? So what I didn't understand is these chords, this 1, 4, 6, is functioning in a context of a scale. These sounds that people add is basically coming from the key. So if we understand the center, if we understand the tonal center, the gravity, we can actually do all these things and add things. How are we doing that? We know the fingerings, we know the sound color, and we understand the relationship between the chord, this is the 4, this is the F, and the tonic. And then we use major and major pentatonic, minor and minor pentatonic. If you need to understand the pentatonics, you can check this video out. So it's very important to not only see, but understand sort of like the neighborhood, the things that are functioning with, and that gives you a lot of freedom. And these are basic things that you probably know, but if you think about it day by day and try to tag and see everything you do in the question mark of like, oh, what is the environment? What is the tonal center? And again, it could be more complex chords, the same thing, because I'm asking myself, how does it sound? How does it feel, this A7 flat 9? It's nothing fancy, it's just a little extension of tension, right? I'm creating more tension, more color to resolve, but it's the same question of tension and release. Alright, thank you so much for listening. I hope this was helpful and interesting. For me, this is the first guitar lesson or first couple guitar lesson that I wish I had. I hope you can relate to that. If you can, drop a comment and tell me your thoughts. Thank you. I'll see you guys very soon.